All right, welcome every single one of you to another video blog, one of the last video blogs that I've been doing in a while. My name is Pablo Mentor, you already know me, and fasting is very important for the spiritual warrior. If anybody's out there trying to evolve, to elevate themselves into higher versions of them, better and higher versions of themselves, fasting is a very fundamental, very important tool that we use in spirituality. But fasting not only happens with food. Now, if you just Google fasting, the benefits of fasting, you will see there are countless. Literally, there's a lot of benefits from stopping eating. Just stop eating, because we eat a lot. Now, that is not to say that food is bad. That is not to say that food is evil or whatsoever. I mean, depending on what you eat. But it's nutrients. It's good for the body. It's energy, right? However, when we do it consciously, we stop eating food and water sometimes. Consciously, something within us awakens and we grow. It's good for the physical self, it's good for our body. It's almost like we're giving our body a chance to reorganize, to reset. Our immune system gets the benefits of it as well. Our emotions also. Sometimes we're craving all the time foods with sugar, processed meals, and that puts us into stress, inflammation, which also creates stress. When we fast, it helps our emotional body to just relax, to take a moment. And it's almost like you are encouraging a meditative state, right? So for those that are out there that are meditating, try to meditate while you're fasting and you'll see the benefits of it. Right? You'll see how much easier it is, because also energetically speaking, most of the times we are using energy just to digest the food that we're taking into our body, and we give food and more, and by the time our body is getting like a break, like, okay, I just finished this job on digesting this last meal that I had, and I transform it into energy, into blah, 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 many different things. And then you add more food and then more food. So we are, how would you say, we are overusing or overstimulating our body and our emotions as well, because we're putting too much. This is also something that has to do with pleasure. Some of the times we just eat because we like it, just because it's pleasure. It tastes good. We don't even think about the nutrition for that meal. We just like it and we have it. So abstaining yourself from eating things that just give you pleasure, that also brings a more calm state, brings you more control over yourself, so you don't have any cravings. Spiritually speaking, it also helps. If it helps you meditate, of course it'll help you connect with something beyond your body and your mind. You'll transcend. That is the first step as a spiritual warrior, to stop eating, to control that need of hunger, right? I need to eat. Your body does not need to eat all the time. You can go about your entire day with just one meal, maybe two, and that's it. But we've been told that, we need to have breakfast, we need to have dinner, and blah, 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 so many different meals. And that's not the case. I mean, depending on your activity, your level of activity. Another thing, so fasting with food, it's very important, it's crucial. Another thing that I like to do, and that I think I've mentioned before in other videos, is pleasure fasting. We are always, or dopamine fasting, that's the actual name. We are so used to get dopamine, how do you say, like dopamine fixes, like literally, like if you were a drug addict. That's why we are so attached to social media and to likes, how many people have liked my last picture, how many people are engaging with my stories, and comparing yourself. And you know, dopamine is that chemical that makes you feel good, which actually has to do with the meals. Like I said, if you're only seeking pleasure, things that give you pleasure, you will not be able to transcend into higher, more evolved versions of you, because you are very low vibrational, right? You're in the lower chakras, your lower self, which is just seeking pleasure and survival, and you don't have the time nor the energy to think about something else. So that's why dopamine fast is also very, very important, where it's better if you just spend some alone time, better if you're in nature and you don't think about giving yourself pleasure. You don't think about things that give you pleasure. You just do a spiritual routine where you meditate, you do some exercise, and you focus on that, on growth, not on pleasure, not on things that make you feel good or even bad. This is not about what you like and what you don't like. Remember, if you're on the spiritual path, this is about transcending all of those things, beyond the body and the mind. And the last thing that I love fasting on, which I know would be relationships, another type of fasting would be people as well. Sometimes you need to cut off a lot of people, even the ones that are for you, even the people that are very supportive of you. They'll understand when you just need to get some time on your own. It's very important that you spend some alone time, because then you'll be dropping a lot of baggage, unnecessary baggage, by the opinions of others, this and that, and then through these, you'll confront yourself. And that's where beauty arises. That's when you get to know your true self. That's when you get to do shadow work. That's when you get to realize your true purpose on this earth, when you do people fasting as well, or relationship fasting. But the last one, and this is the actual meaning and why I wanted to make this video, is electronic fasting as well. We live in a world where technology is good. I'm not talking against technology, but we live in a world where we believe, we feel, and sometimes we cannot escape technology. We cannot escape using our phones because we make money out of it. We cannot escape using social media, right? The first thing that you do in the morning, it's take your fucking phone. That's literally the first thing that you do. You look at your phone and then you start scrolling. When you take a shit, you are looking at your phone. When you are relaxing, you're looking at your goddamn phone, and social media and emails and computer. It's always electronic devices, watching TV, these, that. So if you're not aware of the EMF emissions that electronic devices create, right? This is why I have organs with me, orgonites. Make your research on that. But it's not very good for you to have all these electronic devices around you. It actually creates something. It creates like radiation, for example, electromagnetic fields that fuck up with your own electromagnetic fields. You know, the natural electromagnetic fields that your heart creates, which is like actually your heart, it's the one that the strongest creator of electromagnetism, but it's natural. When you have these electronic devices, they kind of, spiritually speaking, they kind of mess up with your vibe, if that makes sense. So having a fasting fasting from social media, man, the benefits are tremendous, because every time you jump into social media, even if you're using it to make money or to learn, which is very few people use it for that. A lot of people just use it to get distracted or to get entertained. So it's almost like a drug. It literally is almost like a drug that you feel like you need it. And even if you are using it for better purposes like making money or expressing yourself or learning something, still, there's a lot of bullshit out there. So the fact that we cannot be without these devices, that's an indicator that we need it more, right? Now, I'm not saying that you should stop using it forever, but I'm just saying every now and then, it's good to stop using your social media. We live in a society where we think that, oh, if I don't post videos, if I don't share my things, especially with coaches and people, spiritual wokesters and all that shit, if I don't share all the time, then people forget about me. Fuck no, man. You are worthy whether people are looking at you or not, whether you get likes or not. Fuck that. You should be doing the things that you're doing in your life because they align with your purpose, not because you are doing it for some motherfuckers that are following you, in quotes, that you might never meet. So it's kind of like it's good and bad, but if you can't stop using this, that means that you are an addict, basically, right? So that's why we need to do some fasting on this. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get away, I'm going off grid, I'm saying goodbye to the internet world, and you're not gonna hear from me for a while. Who knows how long? But I'm not gonna be on social media, I'm not gonna be on internet, I'm not gonna use electronic devices to the best of my abilities, right? So the last post that I'll do, it'll be tomorrow, because that's when I go off grid. You'll see where I'll be staying, and I recommend that you do the same thing. Don't think about it in a negative way, like you're doing a retreat, like you're going backwards. It's not like that. It's like a spiritual retreat. You're disconnecting to reconnect with your true self, to reconnect with other aspects of life, of existence. Sometimes we forget about smelling the roses or enjoying conversations with another person right in front of you. Why? Because we are in a fast pace all the time. You know, we need the phone and we use it to pay bills, and we're always on fast mode. So doing fasting with food, people, dopamine, and social media or electronic devices and internet is good for the soul. It's good not only for your physical self, your mind, your mindset, your emotional state, but it's also good for the spirit, for the soul. You'll connect more with your soul. So this is the last video that I'll do in a while. Like I always say, be the best version of yourself. Connect with your soul, because that's what we need now more than ever. We are seeing a lot of fucking division, whether you are pro or against all these things that are happening. You can agree, we can all agree that the division is there, and this is tearing us apart. So now is the time to connect with your true self, to reconnect with your true purpose, and be more spiritual than ever. Now is the time. There's no more waiting, right? Do your meditations, do some fasting. Really, if you hear the calling, get in touch with your soul. Get in touch with spirit, which is calling out for you. Get in touch with Mother Nature. Get in touch with the most fundamental, primordial things that makes us human, that makes us alive, okay? So we'll see you when I get back. Till the next one. Ometeotl.